Forbes Trail, Klondike Derby,
and you're watching Squatch Talk.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Squatch Talk. I'm your host, Lance Bittner, and this is the Laurel Highlands Council's webcast where we share information about the Camp CFMAC Adventure Base. If you tuned in last month for our premiere episode, then you know that Doug Schmitt was our guest. Doug is the director for the Camp CFMAC Adventure Base in 2024, and he gave us an overview of this unique resident camping opportunity. And he talked about the 5 adventure tracks that are going to be offered. Brownsea for all the first year scouts, Outpost, Nautical, Expedition, and Action News. That was 5 for those of you that can count. He also mentioned that each adventure will focus on several different merit badges during the week. So stay tuned tonight because Doug is going to be back with us later in the program to discuss how these badges are going to be woven into the adventure. So if you missed episode 1 for some reason, but whatever reason that might be, you can still catch it anytime on YouTube at Camp CFMAC Adventure Base on YouTube. So for now, on to episode number 2, and our featured guest is this guy right here, Mr. Mike Manor. So Mike, welcome. Mike is the Laurel Highlands Council's Director of Camping. So welcome to Squatch Talk, Mike.
Great, thanks, Lance. Glad to be here.
So first off, as Camping Director, you're a member of the Laurel Highlands Council's professional staff. Is that correct?
That is correct. I've been with the Laurel Highlands Council since 2016. This is the 3rd Scout Council I've worked with in my career with scouting. Prior to that, absolutely a scout. I was never a Cub Scout. I joined straight into Boy Scouts, did that, Eagle Scout, did venturing, the Silver Ranger Awards there, worked on camp staff from the time I turned 14. I'm still working with camp staff, which has been awesome. I never look back. It's been so much fun. And I'm really, really excited for Squatch Camp because this is something new and it's exciting. We're finding a different way to go about the summer camp experience here in the Laurel Highlands Council. And there are very, very few councils out there right now that can say that they're trying to start a new summer camp program. Most are cutting programs. We're trying to start something new, and we're looking forward to getting this off the ground in 2024.
Wow, that's great, Mike. Thank you for that. So let's talk Squatch Camp. I've seen on Facebook and in the Squatch Watch newsletter that the council is offering a special deal for scouts who register early. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so with this being something new, we wanted to make sure registration got open nice and early. We have a team of volunteers that are working on putting everything together. We want to make sure that there's interest from our units and our scouts as we're planning and putting everything together. So starting out here, just opened a couple weeks ago. Registration for Squatch Camp is now open, and until February 28th, so just a couple days from now, registration is limited. So as you know, for many, many, many years, when it was Pennswoods Council and then Laurel Highlands Council, there's a group of troops that attended Camp CFMAC for summer camp, and absolutely religiously. Every single year, you could count on finding them at Camp CFMAC. And because this is new and because this is a Camp CFMAC, we wanted to make sure there was an opportunity for those troops to have the very first chance to register for Squatch Camp and make sure that they had the chance to get in before registration opens for others. And any of those units that register by February 28th, they have the chance to get a pretty great discount off the rate for camp by locking in their space by February 28th.
Wow, that's pretty sweet. That's awesome. So that's not long from now. That's just a few days. So at 12:01 on March 1st, what happens? Do I turn into some kind of like handsome prince or a pumpkin sort of thing? You know what I mean?
I was going to say Sasquatch, but I don't know.
Sasquatch. There we go.
Yeah. So as I said, the Old Penns Woods Council area, so Chestnut Ridge District, Keystone District, Forbes Trail District, Fort Bedford districts have the very first chance to sign up for Squatch Camp until midnight, February 28th, 2023. Starting at 12:01 on March 1st, registration is going to open to other scouts and units from the Laurel Highlands Council and across the great world of the Boy Scouts of America. So those units, that have been to, went to Camp CFMAC for years, make sure you get in there, get that chance, because if you wait, not only will you pay a little bit higher rate, you may not get a chance to get in and get registered. The program for Squatch Camp, especially for this first year, is going to be limited to about the first 180 scouts. So we want to make sure that we provide a great program for them.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to get waitlisted, do you? Yeah, because that definitely wouldn't be good. So my troop, we've decided that we are going to go to Squatch Camp, and we want to get in early to make sure we lock down our spot and get that special discounted price. So what do we need to know?
Yeah, so registration is pretty simple. We're running it through our 247 scouting registration system. The link should be appearing somewhere here very, very shortly to the registration. And you go follow that site. When you go, there's 1 week that you can register for. And when you go to register, what you will do as you open up the registration, you'll be asked to give estimated numbers of scouts and adults that plan to attend. Once you move in, you'll provide contact information for your unit. And then when you check out, you're going to be charged two things. One is a $100 per unit deposit to hold the space for the unit. And the second piece is a $20 per scout deposit. That's so that we have an idea how many scouts are planning on coming. Again, because so much planning that's going into this really hinges on having an idea how many scouts are actually really interested in coming to camp and attending. So we want to know. So the nice thing about this is right now you're just putting in estimated numbers. We know you may not know how many people exactly you're going to have coming, and that's okay. You put in your estimated numbers, you pay your $100 unit deposit, your $20 per scout deposit, and then you don't have to pay the rest of your balance all the way until March 31st of 2024. So you have a long time to raise the money you may need for Squatch Camp. It works out to about $1 a day between now and then. So yeah, not too bad. And the other thing to know, just in case you're worried, down the line as more and more information comes out, I think this is going to be incredible. But if you find that this may not be something for you, those $20 per scout deposits are fully refundable all the way until February 15th of 2024. So what I really recommend, get in now, get your space reserved of how many scouts you think you might be bringing to get that space for your unit. Because again, if you wait or you go real low and you may need to add scouts on later, depending on how registration goes, you may end up on a wait list. You may not get space at Squatch Camp. So again, I think this is going to be pretty awesome and a new program going on at Camp CFMAC in 2024.
$1 a day. That's a bargain.
It is.
What can you buy for $1 around here anymore, right? But last month, Doug talked about individual scouts that could sign up too. How would we go about that?
Yeah, so individual scouts, if an entire troop isn't thinking that they want to attend Squatch Camp, an individual scout that's interested can sign up exactly the same way. They go follow the same link. When they go in, they put their estimated number at 1 scout or 2 scouts, a pair of brothers or brother and sister, pair of sisters, whatever it happens to be, and you work through registration exactly the same way. That $100 unit deposit, you would still have to pay that, but it's one thing to know about that, and I should have said this a minute ago, that $100 unit deposit is not an additional fee. When we get to the point that you're paying for the full attendance in 2024, that $100 goes toward your balance due. So again, it's just a hold space now. It's not an additional fee. It rolls toward the total balance due as it goes on. Individual scout registration works exactly the same way. When they get to camp, they're going to be put together with a group that will have leadership. So all the leadership will be taken care of for those individual scouts that want to come without the rest of their troop.
So Mike, let's talk a little bit about the camp staff. We know that at least for 2024, Squatch Camp is going to be run by an all volunteer staff. So where are all these volunteers going to be coming from?
Well, that's a great question, Lance. And this is where we need your help. As Lance said, for this first year, definitely, Squatch Camp is going to be run by an entire group of volunteers. Scouts, both adult leaders and scouts, just like you, who believe in making a summer resident camp, week-long program at Camp CFMAC work, and are willing to take a chance and try something new and try to come up with something really exciting and fun as we hunt for Sasquatch. When we announced this program back in October, and since then, there's been a team of volunteers already working on putting together those tracks that Lance talked about a little while ago, and were talked about in our first Squatch Watch webinar. And we need more folks to help us make that happen. So because this is new, we're designing this program from the ground up. You can have an opportunity to get involved in that and help make sure that this is an incredible program for the scouts who are coming. And we definitely need your help to make sure it's going to work. Both adult volunteers, and we're looking for scouts to be youth leaders at this new program.
So I'm a scoutmaster who is used to going to camp with my troop, but now my scouts are all off on their adventures. So I was hoping to lay in my hammock, but it probably might be better if I volunteer. I know I'm big on the hammock laying. You heard it last month. You heard it here again today. Any excuse I can have to lay in a hammock, I'm going to take it. But so it probably would be best if I volunteered, and I probably will. But what adventure would I go on? Like, how do I volunteer?
Great question. So exactly, we'd love to have all the leaders that are coming to planning to come to Squatch Camp help in some way while they're at camp. It can be through helping with one of the tracks, sharing skills, providing leadership and supervision, all that kind of stuff. I know I love laying in my hammock too, and we'll try to make sure that there's some time for you to get that good camp nap, because it's not camp without a good hammock Scoutmaster camp nap. It's just not. But we want to make sure that you help out. I can help with those things. We are definitely looking for scouts. So if your troops have older scouts that you think could be great mentors and examples for any other scout that are attending, we'd love to have them join us and apply for staff. These are scouts, I'd say 15 to 16 years old, might be star or life scouts, and pretty proficient with their scout skills, may have a good variety of merit badges that they've built a lot of different camp skills over their time in scouting. Because they're going to be leading and helping to make sure the adventure tracks happen, we'd love to make sure that they have plenty of leadership experience. So scouts that have been patrol leaders, senior patrol leaders, or those that have been to NYLT would be excellent candidates to be youth staff for Squatch Camp.
Well, what would make a scout want to join the staff instead of coming to camp as a camper?
I think that's a great question. So being on staff is at any summer camp is an incredible experience. Not only do you get to give back, to the program that hopefully you've gotten a whole lot out of, but you get to have a whole lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of new people and make new friends, and you get to experience camp in a different way. You are as a staffer kind of the person who helps make camp come alive. Years and years and years ago, somebody one time told me that you can run an incredible summer camp in a parking lot if you have an awesome staff. And as a staff member, you're that awesome person who helps make camp come alive for everybody else.
So if there is a scout that wants to apply for staff, where would they go about it?
Good question. So our staff application for Squatch Camp is going to be shared in our very next Squatch Watch newsletter. So keep an eye out. There will be a link to the application with directions on how to submit it and where it goes. After applications come in, our leadership team will be reviewing them and reaching out to those scouts and scouters that they want to invite to be part of the team. So watch for that Squatch Watch newsletter and the link to the staff application so you can get on the ground floor helping to make this program come alive and plan for something pretty awesome in 2024 at Camp CFMAC.
Wow, Mike, you've really covered a lot of my questions that we've had here tonight.
Yeah.
Is there one final thought you'd like to leave us with today?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If you're a scout from Chestnut Ridge, Keystone, Fort Bedford, Forbes Trail districts, get in here now. As I said, registration opens up to everybody on March 1. We want to make sure that you get your chance to sign up early, get a discounted rate to come to Squatch Camp, and help us bring a week of resident camp back to Camp CFMAC in 2024. So get in, register, or apply for staff today, and we're going to have an awesome time at Squatch Camp.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here on Squatch Talk, Mike.
You're very welcome, Lance. I'm excited.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Now we're here with Doug Schmitt. If you remember last month, Doug was here talking about all the activities and the fun and introducing us to what the Camp CFMAC Adventure Base is going to look like in 2024. So Doug, welcome back, man. How you been doing?
Thanks, Lance. It's good to be back. I've been really good, really busy working on the program.
I take it camp's up and ready to go. We can start tomorrow, right?
I wish, but there's a lot of work we need to do and a lot that needs to get done so we can have this camp next year.
I bet. I can only imagine. So last month when we talked, you told us about the 5 different adventure tracks that the Squatch Camp is going to offer. Can you give us some details on how these adventures are being designed?
Sure thing, Lance. We've set some basic guidelines on how we want the adventures to run. For example, each adventure will camp together for the week and run like a scout troop, adventure crew, or even a ship. We are allowing creative freedom to make the adventures fun and unique. However, we are also requiring that each adventure start with a base of some scouting skills or even a handful of merit badges. So each adventure at its core will complete some advancement requirement or a merit badge or two. Though we stress that the youth shouldn't realize that they're working on requirements and should instead be having fun doing some activity that just happens to meet one of those requirements.
So do you have any updates on the adventures right now?
Yes, I do, Lance. So our program staff has been working hard to put them together, and I'd like to give some more specifics on how 2 of them have been designed so far.
Oh, well, that's great. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there interested in hearing that. So which ones do you have information on?
Well, I'd like to talk about the Brownsea adventure and the Action Newsroom adventure.
Brownsea? Oh, is that the one for the first year scouts?
You got it right there, Lance. Yes, Brownsea is our first year camper program, and it will be based on the rank advancements for tenderfoot, second class, and first class. And youth will also get to work on wood carving and leatherworking merit badges.
What about the Action News adventure track?
So the Action News adventure will allow the youth to get some quick views into all of the other adventures as they report on and document them for the journalism, public speaking, photography, and movie making merit badges.
Well, that sounds really cool, but if a scout comes to camp and they've already got these particular merit badges, should they still come be a part of that adventure?
Yes, well, the youth will know ahead of time what merit badges each adventure are offering, so they can take that into account when they're deciding on which adventure they want to come and visit for the week. However, a youth can still come to an adventure even if they have 1, 2, or all the merit badges and just have fun in that adventure for the week.
A fun week of camp, indeed. Well, I can hardly wait for this. It sounds like it's going to be great. Doug, thank you again for being here.
Thank you for having me on, and we are all very excited about this, and I'm enjoying watching the program take shape.
It sounds like it's going to be something to enjoy when it gets here. So that's going to do it here for episode 2. Make sure that you join us back here again on March 22nd at 7 p.m. when we'll learn more on the specifics about one of the other 5 adventures of the Camp CFMAC Adventure Base. Don't forget to pre-register for the link in the Squatch Watch newsletter or by emailing Michelle Brenneman at michelle.brenneman@scouting.org. Remember that you can catch all the reruns of Squatch Talk at our YouTube channel at Camp CFMAC Adventure Base. Thank you for watching, everybody, and please stick around for our question and answer portion that starts right now.
Good evening, everyone. Hey, Doug.
Good evening, Michelle. Hi, everybody.
Hello, Michelle, Doug.
Nice to see you again, Lenny.
Yeah, it's been a long, long time, hasn't it?
So wanted to just see if there were any questions that anyone had that we could address based on tonight's edition of Squatch Talk.
I got questions, Michelle.
Fire away, Len.
Okay, first of all, I'm having trouble, and maybe you can answer this. I'm trying to sell what I don't know anything about, and I have to do it by the end of the month. That creates a very difficult thing for me to do to my parents. I have, excuse me, a long list of what they want to know, and I have a short list of what I know.
Okay.
And that's real hard to go out there and sit down and tell them. I have a court of honor coming up Monday night, and I really needed, or was really hoping for details on a lot of things to make the commitment right now. That's my biggest problem I have right now is I can't even be a car salesman because I don't know what the car is.
Right, and that's, I mean, I understand the concerns with that.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have the full program list of
Right.
merit badges for every adventure yet. It's because we're weaving stuff in, it's not as cut and dry as just saying we're going to offer X merit badge to this, because we want it to, we're telling a story in the process of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that adds a layer of complication to just giving a direct, you know, here's all the merit badges we're going to offer. So understanding that, you know, the youth will be doing some merit badges within the program. They'll be working on requirements for the first year camper program.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Those give them some options to do that one's probably the easiest one, because what you've seen in previous is pretty much what that one is.
Right.
When you get into probably the outpost adventure, expedition, and nautical, that's probably where most of the questions are coming, because it's trying to take what we know of as summer camp and fit it into this new paradigm is a little bit of a stretch. So
Right.
Doug,
and I understand that perfectly. It's just, it's real hard to be on top of this 18 months prior to it. You know what I mean? When I have to get my reservations in by the 28th and explain to the parents what we're getting our reservations in for, and all I can say is they're working on it, which I have no doubt that Doug is going to have a great program, because Doug, you've always done that I've known of, but they don't know you, and they're only going by what I say. And that's hard to convince all the scouts to jump on board, even with my enthusiasm.
We can offer to send someone to any meetings, any court of honors, anything that any troop has planned, to ask directly to one of the staff, you know, their questions. And if you have a list of questions, please let us know, and we'll, as Michelle said, I don't know if I can answer every single question, but I can do my best, and we can get you answers.
I'm sure you probably haven't come up with the answers to those questions yet. You're still working there. I understand that.
But I mean, if we can be of help, and that's actually a great idea.
Right.
Somebody come talk. And I know your parents are, you know, they're great for having guests come in. I've come and visited your troop several times. So
yeah, that's
ultimately, if they're worried about the summer camp experience, we still have to follow the same rules as any other summer camp. So we'll have the same guidelines as every other summer camp that any scout has gone to. So we still have to follow all the same standard Boy Scout, you know, Scouts BSA rules. We had to follow, you know, all the camp standard policies. So from that sense, all those rules are still followed, and that still will be the same. Now, you know, if they're concerned about how they're camping, you know, I could tell you that they will be camping as part of an adventure. So they will make troops when they get there. Other than that, there's any really specific questions that anyone has, I'm willing to answer what I can, of course.
Yeah, and Len, if you want to get me those questions, I'll get them out to Doug and Mark and the rest of the committee, and we'll come up with some stuff and make a plan as to who can come visit you. Ron, you had something.
Yeah, I was going to ask Glenn how many first-year campers he had planned on coming. If you want to drop your $100 as a troop and know you're having at least 1 or 2 campers coming, you have nothing to lose. You know, that way you have your reservation in, but you know, that's one way going around it, or talking to parents and telling them what they need to know.
You know, registration is not required by the 28th. You just get your bigger discount by jumping on then. So we can surely get money back if your plans change. And of course, you know, the number right now for the deposit is unnamed. So when you're putting your deposit in, you put in for a number of slots, not necessarily named individuals. So, I mean, I know as a Scoutmaster, you're going to want to keep track of that, but that's not how you have to register them.
Quick question on that one too. We're putting in for slots now, and then the slots could fill up. What about our Arrow of Lights coming next year that we don't know about, or the fall and the spring recruitment that we get scouts in that we want to get in, and it could be filled up by then, correct?
Yeah, and we have some flexibility on some of those things. If you know roughly how many, you know, Weeblos may be coming up. I mean, that's all
Right.
refundable until February 15th of next year.
Okay.
So if you expect 5 kids to come up, that's an extra $100. We're not, you know, asking for a huge sum of money here.
No, you're not.
But if you want to put that in and make a almost a guesstimate and then confirm it later, the money you pay in is off the total camp bill too. So it's not like there's it's going somewhere else. So
Okay.
We're offering this right now to try to get some of our units to have the opportunity to register now, so that our local units get the first shot at it. And I know that I said this before, but I know Doug's reputation speaks for itself. And we have heard rumblings from other districts in the Laurel Highlands Council that they are interested in participating. So we want to, we want to make sure that our folks, my friends, all of you, have the opportunity to get in first on this. But yeah, Len, if you want to send me the details of your court of honor as well, so we can make sure we get somebody assigned to come up to visit you.
It's probably pretty tough because that's Monday night. It's that close. But I will send you all the information for that. Because if somebody's available, that would be good.
I can't speak for the for my chair of marketing, but that is one of our goals, to make sure that we have people that are able and willing to go out and meet with all the troops as needed. So
yeah, I can be available for that.
Mark is my chair of marketing.
So you get a Brenneman. Yeah, I wasn't sure which one of us was going to go one up there for that one, Len.
We haven't had Mark up here in a long time.
I do want to give a quick shout out and recognition to Troop 29 out of Indiana County, the Chestnut Ridge District, as being the first unit, the first one in to register for Squatch Camp in 2024. So thanks to the guys from 29 for jumping on board with that. So.
You're welcome, Michelle. Doug, is it possible to take the scenarios that we have at the beginning of each one of our adventures and get that published as an overview of the adventures that could be part of a flyer or a quick link page that Lenny and his guys can look at?
Yes, I want to get that out. I wanted to schedule a meeting from a program side to make sure we all had that aligned together before I sent it out officially.
Okay.
So that was kind of why we haven't done that yet. But yeah, I would like to do that, Joe, for sure, soon.
If you want a roundtable presentation in your district, we can definitely arrange for that as well. I know that there's a couple things coming up where you'll have other guests coming in, so probably don't want to pick that night. But if they're coming in March, maybe we'll look at April to come in and have some folks come out and talk about what's going on at Squatch Camp. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. I'm very excited to be sharing the information with you about Squatch Camp. It's going to be awesome. So sign up and join us. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You all know how to find me.